Please be seated. The title of my message this morning is The Mission at Hand, taken from the psalm we read this morning, Psalm 84, verse 4. Happy are the people whose strength is in you, whose heart are set on the pilgrim's way. Good morning. Try that again. You're a little better than the kids, but not much. So, good morning. Thank you. Great. I'm delighted to be with you this morning. Standing in this pulpit and seeing many familiar faces brings back a flood of memories. It would be pleasant for some of you and for me if I spent my time in the pulpit this morning speaking to you about the 15 years that have occurred since I left Rye with my family in the summer of 2000 for seminary. But we have a mission at hand that needs our attention and complete focus, and I am impatient to get underway. So this morning, I would like to share with you my interim methodology, framing my message with the fourth verse from today's psalm. Happy are the people whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on the pilgrim's way. And certainly we have entered the pilgrim's way as I help you and help guide you from one rector to the next. And we will be most happy when our strength is in God. For if we call continually upon God during this time of transition, keeping Him ever present in our hearts and minds, we will find ourselves strengthened and will be a church community that is thriving. Our hearts will be delighted and our steps invigorated because our destination, the call of your next rector, will be like a shining city on the hill or a path lit by the divine love and light. My role with you is much different from Canon Harris's. She was your rector and an excellent one at that. She held legal authority granted to her by the bishop, you, and the canons or church laws. I don't hold that authority. The wardens hold the legal authority during the time of transition. My role is to guide, counsel, advise, and coach you as we journey along the pilgrim's way. In many aspects of my work, I work on behalf of the bishop as much as I do for you. And importantly, I will not be your next rector. My job, which I love, is interim pastor. I am here to help you through your change. I am a change leader. At the heart of my work is the practice of mobilizing parishioners to tackle the tough challenges that lie ahead and to help you thrive. A thriving church is one to which top-notch candidates will apply. A church with a thriving environment is a place that is excited about its next leader. A thriving parish is one where the future looks bright and exciting. How do we become a thriving transitional church? We will start by engaging with and understanding your past. We will work together to look at what is best about your past. We will explore what has brought meaning to this church through the generations, and specifically the past 5 years or so. We will identify the gifts that God has given this church. We will build on the best of who you are. We will discover the essence of this church, finding the values, gifts, and divine calling that makes this parish good, strong, and enlivening. We want to carry forward the things that make you who you are at your best. During our time, I will ask you to experiment with me. I will ask you to try some new things. I may ask you to test out a new course. I will not make you do things to confuse you. My purpose is not to befuddle you. I promise to let you know what is happening. I commit to you, I will give you advance warning. If you happen not to be here on a Sunday or miss my explanation, please do not hesitate to speak with me. My goal is to find fun and delight in the new. I ask you to keep an open heart and mind when we're experimenting. I ask you for your trust. Also, when I say, let's give it a try, or let's experiment, I want you to know that when I leave here, I won't know if you go back to the way you've done it before. Again, what's important is that we work together in trust. I do have a warning. You will be learning, and learning is often painful. During my time as a chair of the theology department at Brooks School, I taught a lot of high school sophomores. On more than one occasion at the end of class, some students would say to me, "My hair hurts." I would smile because I knew that they had learned something new. Their hair hurt because they had been thinking so much. If we're learning, we're creating and growing new dendrites in our brain. We're creating new synaptic connections. So during our time, our transition time, be ready to learn and grow. It may be a bit painful, but I've been a teacher, coach, and priest long enough to know when we've had enough for one day. Whatever changes we make will be incremental. I'm not interested in dramatic or drastic changes. I'm interested in you finding peace and strength because of this church. I'm interested in you finding hope and love. I am interested in you discovering joy. That is how we thrive as Christians on the Pilgrim's Way. You will find that I ask a lot of questions, particularly in the next few weeks, as I did with the young people here this morning. I will be asking you, and I will be asking those who work with me to also ask questions, to do the same. I'm particularly interested in hearing when and in what ways you see Christ's church at its best. I want to hear what you love about worship. I want to hear how this parish gives you and your family meaning. I want to know what you find most valuable about being a member of this community. Feel free to come and see me. I intend to be in the office as much as possible, and I will work my best to make time to hear what you find as best of this church. We are on the Pilgrim's Way. This is our calling as Christians, to understand the ways God is working in our lives. It takes time. God may reach out to you in a flash or over a long period of time, but you will likely spend the rest of your life understanding, plumbing, and absorbing all that happened to you in that encounter with the holy. The exploration of divine interactions is what it means to be on the Pilgrim's Way. For me, my divine encounter happened many years ago when I was a member of this congregation. I was forever changed by what happened. I am forever exploring the meaning of what that moment meant and means. Without my time at Christ's church, I would not have become a priest. And I would not be here with you today, helping and leading you through this time of transition. I'm thankful for your trust and deeply appreciative of your support. My heart is set on the Pilgrim's Way. I invite you to join me as fellow pilgrims for Christ on a path to a glorious and splendid new beginning for Christ's church.